Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Best of Next 2025, also known as the 12 Jackets of Christmas. So we've made it through another year. Appreciate you being with us along the way. Time to revisit some of our favorite stories of 2025, paired with the sport coats that the team says are too gaudy to wear any other time of year. So if we're going to get through 12, we better get right after it. Let's be honest. Not everybody is going to get the gift that they wanted this year. Take, for instance, Governor Jared Polis. This year, his legacy project, a $29 million pedestrian bridge at the state capitol, went from sure thing to dead in the water. Getting the public's attention focused on that monument to government waste before it was hastily built was our gift to you. We chose to take an unprecedented stand against that public project because it seemed the governor and his team couldn't come up with a good reason to build the bridge as the reasons why not to build it. And the community concern grew and grew. The governor of Colorado wants to build a $29 million pedestrian bridge project in front of the state capitol. This winding, snaking walkway / art installation crossing 4 lanes of traffic to Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park. I understand that Governor Polis wants a legacy project, but there's no good reason to build this. And there are so many reasons not to build it. I don't know if this monument to government waste can be stopped, but we ought to try. The public's initial reaction to the renderings of the bridge appears to be a mix of shock, disgust, and amusement. Yet the governor appears dead set on building this bridge, even if no one else wants it except him and some of his rich donor friends. I should say, I have no issue with them having power and money. I presume that they have earned both. I do have an issue with them treating Colorado's capital like it's their own personal property. We asked the governor's office to point us towards someone, anyone who supports this project. They directed us to an artist who, as it turns out, is being paid to do community outreach for the project. If you have to pay people to like your ideas, maybe they're not great ideas. Being governor comes with perks and power. But there are limits. There must be limits. Someone must be able to tell the governor and his rich friends no. No. You cannot spoil a one-of-a-kind place in Colorado with your pet project. Build the monument to your legacy somewhere other than the front lawn of the People's House. Because Governor Polis, this capitol is your office. This is not your personal property. Polis was racing to have that bridge finished by summer 2026, just in time for the state's 150th birthday. It was the gift virtually no one wanted. State legislators, safe streets advocates, veterans, historical preservationists, neighbors, and accessibility advocates all spoke out against that project. Polis eventually agreed to put it for an online vote. An overwhelming number of respondents said it was a bridge too far. At which point, the governor tried to pretend that he was the hero saving Colorado from his own unwanted project.
The results are in. 5 days, we had over 84,000 people replied to the survey, which is huge. I mean, that's like huge. I've done very small things in the past, had 1,000 or 2. I mean, this level of interest is amazing, which is very exciting that so many people are interested in Colorado's 150th birthday, America's 250th. And overwhelmingly, about 94% don't want to do the walkway. So I am going to do everything I can to make sure there is no walkway built. What if other donors come forward and just say we want to do it? Screw that. I mean, my job would be to block it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think what I'm saying publicly is I'm going to chain myself to the Capitol Plaza if needed to prevent the bulldozers from building this thing.
Well, I'm glad you're willing to do it, and it wouldn't just be me out there. You heard that right. 94% of Coloradans who took the governor's online survey were united against the bridge. Those are like Saddam Hussein numbers. Hey, it's a rare moment of unity that we can look back on and cherish this holiday season. Speaking of failed construction projects, 2025 was the year that Beck Recreational Center in Northeast Aurora closed its doors due to some structural issues. When we looked into the history of the building, we did not expect to find Bow Chicka Wow Wow. The only city rec center in Northeast Aurora is closing, just like the Swingers Club that used to be in the same spot. After decades of sweaty people enjoying themselves at that location, the building itself is crumbling. Our Marshall Zellinger found some unusual history.
Unmarried adults only. Applications are now being accepted for private membership in Spring Hill Country Club.
Before it served Northeast Aurora as a rec center starting in 1973, it allowed for a different type of workout.
What is now Beck Rec Center was built as a swingers club in the late 60s.
The construction appears to be a swing and a miss by today's standards.
Yeah, the pool instigated a lot of the investigation.
Brian Green, Aurora's Parks, Rec, and Open Space Director, explained how a gas leak that closed the pool temporarily will close the rec center permanently.
We quit filling the pool and then charted how much water we were losing over time, and that's what the red tape marks on the side, or that's how much water was going somewhere.
Investigating the water leak in the pool revealed groundwater under the pool and led to a building-wide review.
Toward the bottom of the wall over there, you can see where the block is starting to deteriorate, and that's from water damage, is what I'm told. The entire roof has been determined to be completely at the end of its life.
Green said there were regular inspections, but what was discovered cannot be fixed.
There's no amount of maintenance that changes the corrosion that's happening to structural steel members under those conditions.
The announced closure this week is abrupt, though it's more than a month in the making.
Like, honestly, if I heard this presentation, I wouldn't step foot in there.
At this April 12th Aurora Council Spring Workshop, City Council learned of the damage and the $31 to $58 million cost to repair or replace.
And I'm pissed that we have rec centers that look like this.
Around the time of that meeting last month, parents of the 45 or so preschoolers who attend class at the rec center learned their classrooms next year would be moved 6 miles away at a city preschool in Lowry. The two closest rec centers are also 6 miles away.
Well, for starters, Marshall, this is why they always tell you to wipe down the equipment. Can we bring that ad back up from the 60s? Do we have that ad? Pull that ad back up. Unmarried adults only. Check out, okay, Spring Hill Country Club offers the unmarried adult the opportunity to fulfill their recreational needs, desires, and pleasures in an environment designed to provide each member with companionship, activity, and an exciting way of life never before available. These are your people, Marshall. They're from Aurora. These are your people.
I'll tell you, you go on some stories and you get surprised by, hey, I didn't know this little bit of information.
Yeah.
When you get there and find out this used to be a singles club or a swingers club,
Yeah.
like, wow, the story's taken a bit of a turn.
Did you see this activity list? They've got tennis courts, they've got a swimming pool, archery, giving all those Cupid's little bows and arrows. They got sand beaches.
My favorite was just the word entertainment.
Entertainment, my goodness, sand beaches. You know how hard it is to get sand out of your shoes? All right, Marshall Zellinger with the story of the day. I feel dirty just hearing about that club. All right, let's put on a fresh jacket, cleanse ourselves. That one's better. 2025, also a year of change, and it was the year that we celebrated the return of a constant presence in our state, the silent menace that lurks in parking lots across Colorado, those parking lot rocks. We found a real monster lying in wait at Mississippi and Potomac in Aurora.
I know there is a tally on the rock.
This rock in a parking lot in Aurora has a wild body count.
I hope they do something about this. There we go.
It keeps bumping and grinding with passing cars and trucks.
Because they've tried reflectors, they've tried signs, they've tried traffic cones. It's just like, nope, people still go over it. People still drive over it.
Jeeps, pickups. Oh fuck, that's a fuck ambulance on the rock.
First of all, I'm blown away. How do you not see two great big 2-ton boulders?
But plenty of drivers apparently don't.
They assume it's grass, you know, and they just like it, and then they figure out there's two big boulders in it.
The Mississippi Rock in a strip mall at Mississippi and Potomac. It now has its own Google landmark page dedicated to its carnage.
When there are people coming to visit our business, we give them a map, and we have to specify exactly where the boulder is so that they don't get stuck.
It's a driving test, pop quiz style. Drivers at Mississippi and Potomac, heads up.
My father is blind on that side. Wears an eye patch. Can perfectly avoid them every time. I don't understand why it's so hard.
Unfortunately, nothing that good and pure lasts forever. The property owners couldn't let the carnage continue, so they had that rock humanely removed in October. Looks like it's not going to be a white Christmas for Denver, but wherever you are, I hope that you're staying nice and cozy, maybe warming up with a bowl of soup. Leads me back to our most controversial question of the year. Is chili a soup or stew? Things are going to get cozy around here tomorrow.
What's your favorite kind of soup, Kyle?
It's my favorite kind of soup. I'm a New England clam kind of guy.
Ooh,
yeah.
And it'll be primed for that tomorrow. We are officially issuing a soup weather alert, soup weather warning, however you take it, tomorrow, primo, for your favorite kind of soup. New England clam chowder. For me, I'd say it's a nice, hearty Midwest chili. Love that.
Bianchi, our producer Mallory, says that my choice of New England clam chowder as my favorite soup is, quote, psychotic.
What? What?
It's a quality American soup.
Well, I grew up in New England, so
okay.
I'm biased. I'm going to take myself out of this one. I'm going to recuse myself from this one, but you know
right.
what? That's a good soup.
Mallory, why don't you do some live TV? Why don't you tell me in my ear right now what your favorite soup is? Come on. She said chili. Chili's not a soup. It's not a soup. The woman named something that's not a soup.
Okay, that was my pick too, but
wait, chili's not a soup. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll discuss this later. They tell me we need to move on and do the news. Chris, thank you. Let's break this down. You got your soups and you got your stews, which include chili, which our producer Mallory incorrectly says is a soup. Your soups have got roughly a 70-30 water to stuff in the water ratio. It's reversed with your stews and your chili. 30% liquid base, 70% stuff in the base. Sadly, Leanne, Joanne, and Doug all incorrectly agree with Mallory. Anne, Julie, John, Nancy, Erica, Jean, Christine are with me. Kristen says neither chowder or chili is a soup, and Ray says regardless of which it is, you really know how to stir the pot. Turns out that soup versus stew debate was a hot topic. Thousands of you weighed in online. And then, of course, America's Soup Lobby had something to say. A viewer named Terry pointed us to a Campbell's ad from the 60s introducing chili beef soup. No such thing. Campbell's then slid into our clip's comments, but didn't take a side, simply called our debate important journalism. And the city of Denver raised a very Colorado-specific angle on this. What about green chili? Well, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. That one's tricky. We're just going to leave that one. And then finally, from the authority on tough questions, Jeopardy, Wendy sent us this clue that popped up on a recent episode. One of Walt Disney's favorite foods was this all-American stew with deep Mexican roots. Answer, what is chili? That's right. I rest my case. I'm willing to bet a lot of families ended their Christmas Eve with a bedtime story. Night Before Christmas, of course, is a classic. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree is the favorite in our house. But not every parent had the opportunity to read to their kids last night. This year, our Byron Reed introduced us to a group that's helping incarcerated parents stay connected to their kids through storytelling.
Anything written by Dr. Seuss, he's magic to me.
The books on these shelves have a special meaning.
But what I love about Seuss, he is ingenious at teaching morals.
For Sister Mary Ann Figlino, the collection is a representation of her hard work.
And we use those books a lot. We used it in teaching religion, actually. Yeah. You know, God wants you to love one another. Well, you see it subtly in Seuss's books.
Hi, Papa. It's Mommy.
25 years ago, Sister Mary Ann started Project Bedtime Story. It's a program that provides incarcerated parents at the Denver County Jail with an opportunity to share a storybook with their children.
The recording studio was 5 tape recorders and a stack of cassettes, and then the moms would be able to come to the room, and there usually was 9 or 10 women at a time, and they would choose the book of choice and then go to the tape recorder.
I saw a brown horse looking at me.
The book would then be mailed to the children with the sound of their parents' voice. The project bridges the distance between parents and their children.
Which is really nice to keep that connection between the parent and the children, wherever they are.
Laura Schneider took over the program 18 years ago after Sister Mary Ann retired. The recordings are now on CDs and audio clips, but still hold the same purpose.
Hearing that parent's voice is crucial to them knowing that they are loved and supported, and it increases their library at home.
I went walking.
They're a collection of books Sister Marianne is grateful for.
And I'm thrilled to see that it's been carried on.
That builds a missing connection that can last a lifetime.
They can make those bonds even stronger, because those children lost their mom for a good part of their lives.
For next,
Yay, Papa, Mommy loves you.
I'm Byron Reed.
That's the kind of story that reminds me of all of the good that is happening, even though division often dominates the headlines. You know, that's another thing that we talked about in 2025, and something that I hope that we can carry with us into the new year. As some choose to divide Americans for power and profit, I am grateful for our community, the next community's focus on inclusion and connection. Because, you know, life is not as scary and terrible as the TV news often makes it out to be. Let's invite others in this holiday season. Exclusion and anger are having a moment in America, but we determine our personal values, and this is the season to show them. So let's invite others in. Some of us are called by faith to do that. Faith aside, at a time when people are trying to divide us from our neighbors for power or profit, one of the most meaningful gifts we can give someone this holiday season is just the chance to be included. Sometimes that means a literal seat at the holiday table, but it could be as simple as a kind note, an invitation to coffee, to go grab a beer, any unexpected act of openness and good faith. Now, somebody out there saying, why are you talking about this on the news? This isn't news, right? News is crimes and car crashes and fires. With respect, the chance of any of those horrible happenings impacting you personally is small, thankfully. The chance that you could change somebody else's life or your own with an act of inclusion, that's almost a guarantee, thankfully. And when I see news headlines about people hurting each other in all kinds of ways, I often see people who are lashing out because they feel ignored and isolated and forgotten. Sometimes it's powerful people acting that way. Sometimes it's powerless people. Now, I'm not saying that we can handshake or hug our way out of every problem in the world these days, but if the local news can provide endless opportunities to gawk at the misfortune of others, how about we also provide a platform for hope and connection and inclusion? So this holiday season, I invite you to tell me a story. Tell me a story about how your life has been changed through connection, through inviting someone else in unexpectedly, by being invited in yourself. With your permission and theirs, of course, I would like to share some of those stories in the weeks ahead. If nothing else, to provide a little balance on the evening news when division is getting a lot of attention. For nearly 500 Fridays on Next, we have ended each week the same way, by searching high and low, near and far for the good news that is happening in the lives of our neighbors. So only fitting that we end the year in similar form, with a little gratitude.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
And we're here in Denver to visit our son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter.
There is so much to be thankful for.
I'm thankful for our family that's here with us.
And be able to see family that we haven't seen in quite a while.
I'm grateful to have access to food and have access to the means to travel to visit family and loved ones.
I'm grateful for family and friends and my wonderful girlfriend, Paige.
That's really nice.
I'm thankful for the Dodgers winning the World Series. I like Nikola Jokic, though.
I'm thankful for my friends and my family. And I'm thankful for my toys.
I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for Jesus. I'm thankful for life.
My family, my friends, God.
I'm thankful for God, for more days to have my family and friends, and for life.
I'm thankful for all of our friends who have supported us through the last 2 years. Yes.
We're so thankful for 3 wonderful sons. Our 3rd wonderful son we lost a few years ago, and so it's sentimental and poignant, but it's an opportunity to thank God for all 3 boys.
Sing choirs of angels.
We're just celebrating the ongoing path of our family, so it's wonderful.
This year, we want to invite you and your loved ones to share in our favorite Friday tradition. Our annual Next holiday ornament is dedicated to your good news. So the front of the ornament asks our typical question, what's your good news? And then on the back, there's a space for you to add your answers about 2025. Same deal as always, you can print the ornament on your own at home. The directions and the ornament cutout are on 9news.com and on all of our social media accounts. And if you would like to share your good news, send us a photo of the ornament on your tree. Email it to next@9news.com. I hope you and yours have had a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. I am grateful for you that we have stayed connected through another year of Next. 9 years on 9 News. Our team tries not to take any year, any day for granted, because any day that we can spend with you talking about how to make Colorado a better place is a day well spent. Thank you for spending a little bit of your Christmas day with us. I'll see you next time.